it's August 12th, and we are speaking about the Nuggets, of course. What else are we gonna do with our days? Hello and welcome to episode 58 of the most downloaded Denver Nuggets podcast in English, hosted by a 40-plus-year-old host from Serbia, among the population between 18 and 35 years old, and with a college degree or higher. Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets' Serbian Corner. My name is Miroslav and I have a confession to make. August is my favorite podcasting month because there is no real Nuggets-related news, so it forces me to be my most creative version and go places no normal human being went before. I guess our favorite Nugget PJ Dozier signing for Partizan Belgrade can be considered news in August. I'm a Partizan fan, but I love PJ, so I wish for him to have an awesome season in the EuroLeague so he can come back to the NBA where he belongs. I wish him good health, and Željko Obradović, coach of Partizan, who is the best European coach of all time, will take care of the rest. The FIBA World Cup is still happening, so I'll just let you know that Serbia has played its first two preparation games. They have beaten the Adetokounmpo Greece, Thanasis Adetokounmpo Greece, that is, and of course lost after having a 17-point lead against Italy. The level of play was as good as you can expect from a team with no point guards and no number one players in the world. The list of players that won't be able to play due to injury and other reasons also becomes longer every day, so expect a very laid-back World Cup news from me in the next month or so. Just kidding. I'm going to be insanely emotionally invested in every game, so I probably should seek help. The good news is that today, Nikola Jokic, the MVP of the FIBA under 18 years old European Championship, joined the senior team and will be a candidate for the final 12. Remember that name. Well, actually, remember that last name since the Nikola part you already know pretty well. Nikola Jokic. I'll be in the arena next Wednesday when Serbia plays Puerto Rico in Belgrade, so expect some kind of report on your X feeds. Again, this is what we used to call Twitter feeds. Alas, we don't anymore. Just don't look at the For You tab. There is nothing there. Okay, it is time for me to introduce my panel for today. First, one of my most frequent guests, a former host of the most artistic Nuggets podcast of all time, called The Dig, also a writer for the Denver Stiffs, a super nerd, and the inceptor of the Nuggets haiku, but most importantly, my good buddy, it's Nick Hertzog. Nick, how is summer treating you?
Good, man. So is Nikola the most common name in Serbia? Because we have Nikola Jokic, Nikola Jovic, Nikola Topic now?
Yes.
Is this who the new guy is? Yeah. Or just for basketball, just for seven-footers?
Actually, traditionally, it is the most common Serbian first name. I'm not sure if it is still, because there are some more modern names nowadays. Not sure about that. I will have to double check that. But definitely throughout history, Nikola is like top 3 name throughout the history of Serbian names. So yeah.
Yeah, Nicholas is common in English too, but probably not quite as common as like Michael, or I don't know what the top list is these days, but
yeah,
so 4 or 5 that are more common. I was just curious. I'm getting all these Nicholas confused.
I have a philosophical question for you. So we've been waiting for the Nuggets championship for so long. I mean, you've been waiting for it for much longer than I did. And now that it happened...
I wasn't really waiting, to be honest. That never really crossed my mind that it was even possible. Yeah. Until, maybe starting like 3 years ago. So
now that it happened, does it live up to the hype of wanting to be a champion now, and now that you are, does it feel special?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's been more fun, producing receipts and and taking victory laps all summer than I think the actual championship. I think the championship itself is going to be something I appreciate more over time. I went back and rewatched Game 5 a couple weeks ago and watched some of the documentary stuff that's been put out. Now, to me, that's what really gets me like emotional and nostalgic for the time. And I've mentioned this before. I had kind of a tough year, so this was just like a perfect year for me to have some good stuff to watch, and so I'll always have that emotional connection with this team. But just from a straight like enjoyment standpoint, there is nothing more fun than dunking on Philly fans right now. It's just it's made the whole championship worth it. And I want another one just so I can do this every summer.
Yeah, you mentioned it. You had a tough year, and then this was like perfect timing for you, and that's probably the most underrated part of it. Like, people are actually getting joy and happiness into their lives, and there are people that been waiting for it for 40, 50 years and thought they would never, they wouldn't be alive when that happens, and then when it happens, that's really joyous.
Yeah, and for me personally, it was a time where I was feeling really like just kind of cut off from like any kind of social connection or circle, and so being able to connect with like Nuggets fans all over the city during that whole period just really was awesome for me personally, and something I'll never forget.
Excellent. Okay, another returning offender. He is among the biggest movie buffs in the Nuggets nation, also a big basketball numbers guy, and a big believer in the DC universe over the Marvel one. Always ready to fire off some good Nuggets takes. It's Mr. Jordan Scott.
Hey, how's it going, Miroslav, Nick?
Hey.
What's going on in Colorado Springs?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just a lot of rainy weather still, So I'm going to put you on the spot here. Give me your favorite 3 non-Japanese movies you've watched this summer. And I had to frame it this way so you don't just give me 3 Akira Kurosawa movies, because I know how far you are on him. Yeah. Ooh, that's a tough one. There's been some good ones coming out this year. I really enjoyed Oppenheimer. I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan too, so that's always going to be up there. Probably Across the Spider-Verse. And then kind of a surprise one for me was the movie Tetris with Taron Egerton. Just really surprisingly intense movie about the making of Tetris. Like, so.
Oh yeah,
I've had that on my list for a while, so I'm glad to hear another recommendation. This one I would want to watch.
Yeah, it's like a geopolitical thriller, but it's about Tetris.
Wild! It's amazing.
Yep. So
yeah, I've heard some stories about the guys that actually made it and never got any money off of it. So yeah, I have to watch it as well. That's really
well. He has now, because it's cool. It's a cool story.
Many years later, excellent.
Like the 90s, he got it.
And last but not least, making his Serbian Corner debut, he is an actual journalist, a chief editor at this SB Nation's Real Madrid site called Managing Madrid, a long-tenured Nuggets diehard, and also a Nikola Jokic superfan. Calling from Valencia, Europe, it's Lucas Navarrete.
Hey Miroslav, hey everyone, how's it going?
Hey.
Happy to meet you, happy to be here.
This is actually the first time we are talking head to head, so it's always very fun for me to see this. Tell me, when did you become a Nuggets fan?
Interesting. It happened pretty much at the same time I actually became an NBA fan as well. I've always liked basketball, but when I was a teenager or so, 14, maybe 15 years old, which is like 17 years ago. And you know how Europeans go, Miroslav. We need to have a team to support in order to become invested. So I kind of decided to pick the Nuggets because I really like Carmelo's game. His jump shot and his shooting motion was so beautiful to watch. And I was in between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. Happy to have picked the Nuggets back then, and obviously sticked around after Carmelo left. So yeah, that's how I became a Nuggets fan.
Oh, you dodged a bullet. Whew.
I know. That's a tough one for sure. Can't imagine my world and my life now being a Karl Anthony Towns enjoyer instead of a Nikola Jokic one. Yeah.
Oh.
That would be tough. I am actually pretty hard on Carmelo for many years, talking about him like an inefficient scorer and stuff like that. But his contribution to the Nuggets world is huge because so many people started actually watching the Nuggets because of Carmelo. So kudos to him for that. So tell me,
you are the Real Madrid fan, right?
Yeah.
And that's the European version of Los Angeles Lakers with 14,
Would you say so though?
champion leagues.
I
one.
lean towards the Celtics a little bit more, maybe.
I agree with that because they had 5 consecutive ones in the 50s, and that correlates to the Celtics really well. But they're actually really, really good in the last 20 plus years as well, right?
Yeah. We've had like a second golden era, no pun intended, as in Real Madrid. And happy to have been covering the team for the last decade or so. I've happened to cover four Champions League five Champions League actually titles already, and it's definitely been fun being a part of this. Also in basketball, we're talking football here, but in the basketball side of things, we've done pretty okay as well under Pablo Lasso, who is now gone. Unfortunately, I was a big fan of his, and a bit sad now that he's gone. But obviously, still happy to see the veterans kicking some ass in the EuroLeague. Yeah.
Okay, so before we start with the official segments for today, I just wanted to ask you a quick question about the Nuggets rookies. The Nuggets got 3 rookies this season after they got, you can say 3 of them last year as well, with Christian Brown and Peyton Watson. And we also expected more from Colin Gillespie, I guess, because we were used to having to play the two-way guys much more in the past than this last year. So, Nick, was it surprising to you for Calvin Booth to go that route and just draft 3 more rookies, even though they're older guys than usually?
I mean, going into that offseason, I thought we'd get, some kind of a veteran, more of a veteran presence. Like Justin Holiday, was kind of a good pickup there for that kind of a role, just like an older guy who can play some D and kind of slot in some different roles. But in like now looking back at what they did, I think it makes a lot of sense because just with some of the salary cap issues that they're going to be running up against, I think you need to be constantly replenishing with young, cheap guys. I don't think you want to get yourself in a situation where you're just, constantly having to juggle big money contracts around with like veteran minimum contracts and stuff. So and I like the strategy of picking older college players though, which also seem to be deliberate, so that these guys, these aren't project players as much as you would maybe have seen from like second round picks in the past, right? Where you take a flyer on a guy with maybe some issues, but who you can develop. That's not what they got here. They got guys who they think they can get slotted in quickly.
Yeah, Jordan, how bad do you think that Vlatko injury will affect the Nuggets roster construction for the next season?
I think it's low-key a pretty big deal. He's one of those guys that, like, with all the youth they have, he just seems like a low mistake guy that might have found himself a role even in the playoffs if the younger guys didn't work out. And they just don't have that anymore. He seemed more like a safety net. Like, what you were getting from him, and you got it pretty consistently. And now it's just not there. So
I would actually say that he was a safety net for Zeke Nagy, to be honest, because it was probably going to be one of those guys for the playoffs for sure. I mean, the rookies are on a smaller side comparing to Vlatko and Zeke. So that was actually my biggest concern about. I mean, of course, I'm super sad for Vlatko, who might lose his NBA status because of this. But roster construction wise, it's a huge and really good safety net we lost with him. Lucas, tell me, do you expect the Nuggets to be better in the regular season next season comparing to last one, or worse?
Interesting. I think it kind of depends on how pressured they are from other teams. I think they'll be battling for seeding, as I guess. How many games did we like? 56 or something in that range, I think.
52 maybe, or 4. Yeah, a little lower.
Yeah. Not very high.
I lean towards worse, maybe. I think that, they have what it takes. The players probably know that they have what it takes to succeed in the playoffs. So they probably lay back a little bit in the regular season. I have to be honest, knowing Jokic, I don't think he'll take the first 20, 30 games of the regular season very seriously. So, and also incorporating the rookies might be tough during that stretch of the regular season. So I lean towards worse, maybe, and that probably moves the Nuggets back to the third spot in the Western Conference, maybe something like that. And obviously that means tougher opposition in the playoffs. But I think they know they can get it done if they avoid injuries and all that. So my answer would lean towards a little bit worse, maybe.
Okay, we'll take a short break and then we'll return with our first game. Okay, we are back. Enough small talk. Let's get down to business. Some of you know of the Miroslav theory, which says that whoever you predict to have the most points per game for the Nuggets next season, the right answer is always Nikola Jokic. Don't try to be cute. This inspired me to make this first segment with a catchy name, 2023-2024 Nuggets predictions. It's really catchy, right? Okay, so let me just take this logo off so we can see everything. Nope. Okay, that's better. So, question number 1 for each one of you. So, who will have the most double-doubles? And this is Jokic excluded because last year he had 58 double-doubles. So I'm guessing nobody will top that. So, okay.
Yeah, I think that's a safe assumption.
Yeah. So who will be the next on this list? So let's start with Lucas.
I have to guess AG. It's easier probably to get rebounds in AG's spot than Murray. I expect AG to be more consistent with his rebounding than Murray with his playmaking. Also because obviously the main playmaker in the team is Jokic. So I lean Gordon. I don't want to give my answer too long.
Okay, AG for you, Jordan.
I think
oh no,
might
this
go
is
Michael
like an
Porter
official
Jr.
record.
Yeah, this is
Oh.
going to hit the Twitter, so,
Oh,
so
goodness.
be careful.
All right.
I think I might go Michael Porter Jr. on this one.
Oh, this is
I just think there's a
spicy.
chance he gets more time on with the bench than like AG does, and there'll be more rebounds available there.
I like this. This is really spicy. Okay, Nick.
Yeah, no, I actually agree. I was going to say MPJ also. I think his ability to consistently score over 10 a game is probably, and I think the rebounding is probably pretty matched. But AG will have periods where he doesn't really rack up the rebounds. It's kind of an odd part of his game, actually. I'm surprised he doesn't board a little bit more than he does. But yeah, I think the big question here is, will MPJ stay healthy enough to win in total? I think he'll probably edge out AG in average, but maybe not in total.
Yeah, I will have the spiciest take here. I think Jamal will have the most double-doubles.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is ready to deliver like 30, 10-plus assist games this season and maybe a couple of, double-digit rebounds as well. So I'm not going to put my name on this list because I only want you guys to be ridiculed forever on internet. Okay, back to Lucas. Who will have the best assist to turnover ratio? Now, I want to help you with this because last season, best was Jamal with 2.76. Jokic was second with 2.74. Reggie Jackson, 2.63. He didn't play a lot, but he will be on the team this season. KCP was 2.13 and Gordon was 2.07.
I think Jamal does a pretty good job of taking care of the ball, and we all expect him to take a leap this season, so I take Jamal.
This is a really optimistic take because the Nuggets are going to be really, really good if Jamal improves on his ratio. Okay, Jordan.
I think I might just go Jokic on this one. I think there's a chance you see Jamal take on more of the on-ball playmaking stuff with the bench, and it'll just lead to a few more turnovers. So
Excellent. Nick.
Jokic has to work on something this offseason. He's running out of things to work on. So maybe cutting down turnovers is
Listen, man,
no.
he is working on his singing a lot. So
Okay, sweet. No, actually, though, I was going to say Murray also.
Oh, Murray, sorry.
Yeah,
okay,
no, it's okay. I know I made it. I made it sound that way, but I think I agree with you. I think we see Murray's star turn this year. That's kind of one of my big predictions. Is this is the year he breaks through as an all-star, and I think cutting down on turnovers would help him with that for sure.
Okay. Lucas, who will have the most total blocks? Last season, interestingly enough, Gordon was first, but he was tied with Bruce Brown at 51. I wanted to mention Bruce because he is really high on some of these lists. Jokic had 47, so only 4 less. KCP 35 and MPJ 29.
We're talking total blocks, so we're not saying blocks per games.
No, total blocks.
Okay. I'm sticking to Gordon, I guess. Again, I think he's pretty available all the time. So Jokic obviously doesn't jump very high. I think it will be close. Jokic can get it done, but I stick to AG.
Okay. Jordan?
all right, I'm gonna try something a little spicy. I'm gonna say Christian Brown.
Woo!
Oh wow, I thought you were going to go with Watson when you said spicy.
I
you went even farther, yeah.
I just think Christian Brown's going to get more minutes, and he's just so aware of where he needs to be on the court. Like, he finds himself in positions to get to blocks a lot. It's just getting them now is going to be the next step. So,
I love this, Jordan. Okay, Nick.
No, Jordan. Yeah, he keeps playing my hand right before me. I'm going Christian Brown too.
Yeah, good. You are allowed to do that. Okay, excellent. I really like this pick because, I think Christian Brown last year played like in 78 games, something like that. Really a big number of games. So if he increases his no, actually it was Bruce Brown that played 78 games, but Christian Brown was really close.
Yeah, we were all pulling our hair out for the first half of the year because Malone wasn't getting Brown in enough. But.
Yeah. Okay. Lucas, who will have the most total steals?
I'll go with Brown here. His increasing minutes should be pretty high. In that regard, should help him a lot. I think he has good instincts, so I go with him.
Jordan,
it's a tough one. I might just go Jokic here. Like, I think it's going to be him or Christian Brown.
Oh yeah, I should have helped you with this one. Actually, last season it was KCP who was the leader with 112, Jokic 87. He was tied with Bruce actually. Jamal 66, Gordon 54. So if you want to change your calls, this is the chance.
No, he's locked in at Jokic because that's what I was going to say again.
I'll go with
too.
Jokic.
And now I'm going KCP. Woo!
There you go.
I look like a Jokic hater already in this chart, man. I'm not picking Jokic in any other category. Just to be clear, I'll show the shirt. I'm not Jokic hater.
Well, a lot of these questions are all dependent on the next one here. So, like,
hold on.
Yes,
you've made me fascinated by the idea of somebody who's like a huge Nuggets fan, but like they're like not really in on Jokic. They're just like, he's overrated. Like, who is that? Does that guy exist?
Does that person exist? Yeah.
Yes, Jordan is right. This is probably the most important question here. Who will play the most games? So last season, Bruce played in 80 games. KCP and Christian Brown 76, Jokic 69. Gordon 68, Jamal and Porter 62. So, Lucas, you're on the.
I'm going to say Brown as well. Swiss Army knife. His minutes, his body is incredible in that regard. I'm gonna say Brown.
Gordon?
Yeah, I think it'll be Christian Brown too. I could see him being one of the Iron Men 82. Like, I could just see that being his role because Malone's gonna want to see what he's got with him for a full season. So.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's kind of forced actually to do that, yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree too. But let me just to mix it up, I'll say Aaron Gordon. I think he could probably play pretty much every game also.
Yeah, he might be playing on the World Cup for all we know, because he is in Europe right now, together with different national teams. So we'll see. Okay, now this is interesting. Who will have the best 3-point percentage? Last season it was KCP, and I said 100 attempts minimum because I don't want some two-way guys sneaking in here. So KCP was 42.3, MPJ 41.4, Jamal almost 40, 39.8, Jokic 38.3, and Aaron Gordon 34.7. So Lucas.
Man, Jokic is so frustrating to predict because if he takes the game seriously, I expect him to be that guy. But since we're talking regular season,
Whatever, hater.
Again.
We already know.
I'm gonna say MPJ, I guess. Although the shot volume obviously hurts him, he didn't end the season in a good note in that regard. But I'm gonna say MPJ.
No, he'll have 100 attempts. Come on, Jordan.
Yeah, I think last year's leader would have been DeAndre, right? It was for his one.
That's
for
right,
one.
100%. And that was
101.
actually his second 3-pointer of his career, not his first.
Man, I think I might just go KCP again.
Okay, I like this.
I mean, it's one of those two guys, I think. So
Yeah. I think it's probably going to be KCP, but I'm going to choose MPJ because I want to hope that he's been in the gym fixing his jumper all summer. And maybe he has like a career year coming out of the gate next year. He goes, shoots 44% or something.
Yeah, just to be clear, sorry for interrupting, Miroslav. Just to be clear, when I mentioned shot volume, I actually said that it's harder for him because he shoots a lot. It might be easier for the guys who shoot 4, maybe, than for him who is kind of expected to take 7 or 8 threes a game. I think it's kind of maybe a bit tougher for him to get a good percentage.
Yeah, he's tall enough to get everything he wants, I think.
Sure.
So we'll see. I wanted to predict here Jokic because, like, why not? Like, this is one thing he never did. So why not this?
Did he lead in the playoffs for the team?
Yeah,
I think he did. Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is regular season, and actually, I don't predict it because he usually shoots threes when he is frustrated in the regular season. Like F you guys, you're not playing the right way. Here's the bomb from 35 feet. So yeah, okay. Now, who will have the best box plus minus? And again, Jokic excluded because his box plus minus last year was 13.
He's the god of box plus minus.
So this is interesting. Last year, Gordon was second with 2.1, Jamal 1.3, MPJ 0.2, and those were the only 3 guys in the plus. KCP was -1, and Christian Brown was -2.4. So, who do we expect? The box plus minus, so it jabbles the whole box score and tries to make.
Can you actually write whoever plays the most minute with Jokic?
That's your answer? Just whoever plays the most with Jokic, yeah.
Yeah, is the right answer. And just for the sake of arguing, I think that guy might actually be Gordon, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. Jordan?
I think I'm going to go Jamal on this one. I just think we're going to see him be a lot more efficient, and that's really what's holding back that number for him. So,
yeah, if he ups his assists to like 8 per game, I think he has a good chance of having a great box plus minus, and what we need from Jamal for sure.
Yeah, I'll go Jamal. Jamal also. Yeah.
Okay.
For all the reasons you just said.
Yeah, you're both wrong, but let's hope you're right.
He'll play many minutes with the bench unit, I think, though. Don't you think?
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't lean towards him. I don't know.
Yeah, we will see.
I think your pick is the smart one. I think I'm picking more off of like a projection of what I'm hoping happens.
Yeah, hopes.
Yeah.
Makes sense, yeah.
Honestly, MPJ could be a sleeper pick there just because he shoots so well, and that's such a big factor in that number.
That's true. He and Jokic are like 2 guys with the best true shooting in the whole of league on volume. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, last question for this segment. Who will average the most points per game? And feel free to say whatever you want. So Lucas.
I have to say Jokic. Just I don't want to read that chart without his name on on all the columns. So I have to pick Jokic. I think Jamal has a realistic chance, especially if Jokic is kind of wanting to lean back a little bit in the scoring department. But I pick Jokic just because of filling that chart with his name. I feel embarrassed.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Jordan.
I think I got to go Jokic too. I kind of want to say Jamal, but I just think like Jokic might even take fewer shots, but somehow improve on that shooting percentage, and then just score the same. Like,
Yeah, it's Jokic for me too. I'm sorry, dude.
Jokic, right?
Yeah, Jokic for me too. It's too easy for him to score 20. I think that's the issue. Like
Exactly.
Jamal, it takes him like a little bit more effort on a bad game. You know, Jokic is just he gets 20 just for like rolling out of bed. So.
Yeah, I watch games and sometimes we're in the middle of the second quarter and I think to myself, hey, Jokic is not doing much in this game, and they pull up the stats and they say he has 16 points already in the second quarter, and he's like, come on, man, I missed all of those. So what happened here?
Yeah, you've been smart, and for that you deserve a short break. We'll be right back. Okay, we are back, and now the segment I called "Good Work, Comrade." Not great, not terrible, or we'll drop water on it like it's forest fire. I guess you already recognize these quotes from the series Chernobyl. And what this segment is I will give you one NBA take or Nuggets take for next season, and it will be a good one. You tell me, good job, comrade. If it's up in the air, you tell me, not great, not terrible. And if it's a total nonsense, just tell me, we'll drop water on it like it's forest fire. I will leave this on the screen so you remember which sentence you need to say. Okay, so first take, and we will now start with Jordan. Kendrick Perkins will ride with Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets from start to finish of the season.
We'll drop water on it like it's a forest fire. That guy changes his mind more than any politician I've ever seen. Like, he rides the waves of the season, and like Jokic will have one bad game and he'll move on to the next guy and then find him again later after a 30-20-10 night. Yeah, it's just the way he is. So.
Yeah, let me present you with a scenario where that might not be the case. Like, what if the Nuggets are comfortably number one seed from the beginning to the end of the season? Like, they have a huge lead on them. But then if, like, Joel Embiid has 40 points on the Nuggets, you're probably right. He'll just go back to... He'll just flip.
Yeah, it'll be, the Nuggets are coasting. Look how lazy Jokic is being because they're just dominating everyone too easily or whatever. Yeah.
And look at this serious dude.
Yeah, whereas Embiid's really trying, you know. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other thoughts, or should we move?
I think you have to move on. Yeah, I think Perkins has already committed too far.
Yeah,
to his take of Jokic not being that great. So
he's too hard to predict.
Already too invested that he cannot backpedal. Yeah,
he only has 3 firing neurons, so it like really expecting too much out of him, or expecting any kind of consistency whatsoever is probably not smart.
Okay, Lucas, next take. Either the Lakers or the Warriors will completely miss the 2024 NBA playoffs. So they might
drop water on that. I don't. Oof.
You're dropping water? Okay, Nick, what are you?
Yeah, which I'm sorry, I missed.
So Lakers and the Warriors, either one of those teams
missing the playoffs.
Oh, either one. It's not great. It's not terrible. Because I can see a scenario where LeBron or AD gets hurt. Weird.
Right.
And the Lakers are scraping again for a playoff spot, a play-in game spot, and they lose the play-in game or something like that. I think that would that technically count as being out of the playoffs? I think so.
Yeah, if they don't
if you don't win,
the number 7 seed or 8 seed.
The play-in game is not
the
considered
playoffs.
part of the playoffs, right? So yeah.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, I think I got to go not great, not terrible too, just because injury potential for both those teams is pretty high. Plus, there's the Chris Paul factor in Golden State. So,
I kind of think this is good work, comrade, because there are so many. I don't want to say great teams in the West because neither of them are the Nuggets, but there is a lot of really good teams out in the West, and some good teams are not making the playoffs this season. So if you give me two of those teams, I don't know. I mean, you're probably right because either of those teams get to the play-in, they'll probably find a way to get into the playoffs after that. But yeah, I think there's an outside chance that we won't see one of these teams in the playoffs. Lakers. Okay. Take number 3. This one is from Nick. So, Joel Embiid will finally get to the conference finals next season. Now, before you answer, I didn't say Eastern Conference Finals. I said conference finals. So maybe he gets traded out west to a better team. I don't know.
Oh man. No, okay. Well, it's not great. It's not terrible. It's certainly possible. I'm pretty down on Philly. Though, right? I mean, what did they do this season? They're just like, yeah, let's run it back. That was the group. Like, just run it back. Like, what are they doing? Harden's just getting older, and he's starting to fade. He's always been a terrible playoff performer. He's okay this year, but not worth the money they pay him. So I don't know. Like, I don't think they did near enough to get over, a few other teams in the East. So yeah, I think I'm kind of in the middle road there. I wouldn't shock me, but I wouldn't predict it.
Jordan, do you have something else?
Yeah, I would drop water on that fire. I mean, they don't even know if they're going to have Harden, and I don't know. That team's a mess. Let's be honest. And their two best players right now are not playoff.
They were so close, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
they were
It's
close.
so sad. So sad.
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I'm crying inside.
It would be really, and it's just a personal joy of mine to watch them not make the playoffs this next year, just totally implode and B just completely checks out. It would
one of my goals for the season. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'll be rooting hard for that.
Okay, last one for the general NBA. The OKC will have a better record than the New Orleans Pelicans. Let's start with Lucas.
Oh, good work, comrade. I'm much higher on the Thunder than I am on the Pelicans. And also Zion's injury issues, his commitment already in question. I think that's pretty close, pretty borderline to being a lock, yeah.
Okay, Nick?
Yeah, Zion's fatter than me at this point, I think. So I really not too high on them. I don't think he's a guy you can build around really for any kind of long-term success. I think he's proving that. So yeah, I take OKC.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Is it
I think
too
I
brave
gotta
of
agree
a
too.
take?
No, I don't. I mean, I think it could go either way, but I think I lead towards OKC pretty easily. So
What were they? They were 38 wins last year, something like
42,
that?
I think. No, 41, sorry. I think they split it.
They've been really competitive too, though. They're a good young team.
They will be better with Chet as well, so I can perfectly see, I don't know, a 3, 4, 5 win leap from them.
Well, they were 2 games behind the Pelicans last year, so
yeah,
seems like it'd be a pretty easy swap there.
Yeah,
yeah, I think the Pelican situation is going to blow up this season if Zion cannot get it together. Yeah,
not a very hot take from me then. Okay, let's move to the Denver Nuggets now. Tell me, Nick, the Denver Nuggets will have its longest winning streak this season. Now, current record is 15 games in a row from 2012, 2013. In Jokic era, it is 9 from last season. So, do you expect them to have a longer streak than 15 this season?
I don't know. I think that's kind of fluky, those kinds of streaks, and not necessarily a testament to how great your team is. I mean, you just need a lot to go right in the NBA for that kind of thing to happen. So I'd say probably no, but it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me at all to see the Nuggets really dominant this year. But I can also see it going the other way, like Lucas was talking about earlier. I could see it where they're going to go as hard as they're going to need to go. Like how it's going to kind of depend on how hard they're being pushed. So we don't know. That's the kind of unknown is what the rest of the league does.
Yeah, and also the schedule is a key factor here. I think there are some schedule wins and or losses for every team. Sometimes you get a lucky bounce here and there where you get to host. Obviously, you're the champions, but again, every matchup is tough still. So sometimes you get to host, I don't know, the Celtics in the second night of a back-to-back, and that's obviously a scheduled win. They might be even resting some guys. So I'm in between here, but almost borderline no for me.
What do you think, Jordan?
I think it's a no. I think the league's just too good to see really extended winning streaks anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, the schedule really needs to break right, because that 15 game streak from 2013 actually happened in February, March, and April. So it was at the back end of the season when nobody was playing for anything, or many teams weren't playing for anything. So yeah, that makes sense. If it goes, it's much easier to say it will not happen. So we'll drop water on it like it's forest fire. Okay. Last two questions. First, the Nuggets will have a top 9 defensive rating next season. Why I chose 9? It's because in the Jokic era, they have been 25th, 29th, 23rd, 10th, 16th, 11th, 15th, and 15th. So are they going to have the best defensive rating this season, relatively speaking to the rest of the league? Let's start with Jordan.
I think I gotta drop water on that one. I think the way their defense functions, they just know they can turn it on, and they won't do it all the time because it wears them out too much. So I think we just know that they have it in them, and we can trust that. But I don't think we'll see it as consistently in the regular season.
Lucas?
Brown versus Reggie Jackson also hurts you in this department, I think. So I drop water as well.
Nick?
Yeah, no, yeah, this is a nuclear meltdown level now. I think their offense is too epic. It's too easy for them to win with offense. That's, I think, essentially what it comes down to. And if you can win most nights with your offense, why are you gonna exert the kind of defense you would need to get into the top 10? Like,
okay, now the question we've been all waiting for. Nick,
sir,
the Denver Nuggets will win the 2024 NBA championship.
Yes, obviously.
No, that's not the answer I was looking
Oh, right. Sorry. What is it? It's yes. Good work, comrade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
I worked really hard.
I say
in
as
this
I'm standing
space.
there fully nude in front of the mine site or whatever the dig. The dig. We'll call that show. Yeah. No, I don't think anybody did enough this offseason. Not by a long shot to catch them. I think unless the Bruce Brown loss really hurts a lot more than we understand sitting here today. I mean, it's going to hurt, but I think they can replace him with another Brown for one thing. And some of these other guys I think can kind of slot in to sort of do some similar things. And I think the Nuggets still have room to grow and get better. Also, I don't think this is like peak Nuggets.
Jordan?
Yeah, good work, comrade.
Thank you.
I mean, it's the NBA and things could change, but they should be the favorites, and I think they will be until they lose like 3 games in a row and everyone freaks out on them. But we'll still consider them the favorites. So
yeah, we need to be careful from that Houston, away game in February. That's going to be a tough one. Lucas?
I'm also good work, comrade here, assuming obviously that everyone stays healthy come playoff time. That's obviously the key factor here. No? We would all change our take if we miss a guy in the starting 5. So, but assuming they're all staying healthy, I lean towards Woodward, comrade as well. I think they're the favorites.
Phoenix is the most baffling one to me. I don't understand being like, yeah, we got eaten alive by Jokic. So what we need is another like high, mid-range scorer. That's gonna get us over the top. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, we are ready for our last break, and then we'll do something exciting. Okay, I announced before the show that we are going to do the snake draft of Michael Malone's quotes, but we will not do that today because we've decided to keep that for a special occasion on this channel at some point in the future. So before we do that, or instead of doing that, we'll do the segment I'm actually the most excited about, and it's a segment proposed by Jordan. I immediately loved it. So here it is. A big studio is making a Hollywood blockbuster about the first Nuggets NBA championship. We were called by the producers to do the casting for the director and all the main roles for the movie. So after we choose the director, we need to find the best actors that will portray, Michael Malone, Calvin Booth, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and so on. So the movie name is Winning Time: The Rise of the Nuggets Dynasty. What's that? Oh no, there's actually a TV show of a similar name. Okay, we'll workshop it. So we'll see. We'll see what will it be called. Okay, let's start. First, the director. Now, we did all of these together in our private chat before the show. We'd done it actually throughout the whole week. So I wanted to pick this one. It's only because this is going to be an expensive movie and we need a director that can bring a lot of revenue. And since Greta Gerwig did a really good job with Barbie, and she's really good when doing, the IP kind of movie, I think she would be a good bet. Do we have another, idea for this role?
Can I mention real quick Joseph Kosinski? I think he's been a good blockbuster director for the last few years with the Top Gun sequel. Also, I found the last Mission Impossible really, really exciting as well. If we're talking blockbuster, I think he's the kind of the guy right now.
Listen, if Tom Cruise is playing Nikola Jokic, then
wow.
I think you're doing the right thing.
Josh Kroenke, yeah. Why not give him Josh Kroenke, the Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise is going to need like 2-foot lifts to play. That guy's like 4'11".
Okay, let's move past this evil joke. Okay, so Michael Malone. Now, Michael Malone has so much personality, we couldn't settle on one name. So I will give you 3, and you give me more if you would like. So first one, Bill Burr. I don't think we need to explain this too much. Like, he has that intense energy in him. Another guy I would like to see here is Michael Rooker. Mm-hmm. And guys, imagine Michael Malone with this haircut.
Yes.
Now that would be something for the parade 2024,
with
right?
the chains and everything. He just needs to lean into it this year.
Yeah, for the parade, he'll be perfect. Yeah.
And the third guy we all kind of agreed on is Nick Offerman, like another guy with that kind of confidence, I guess, towards everybody around. Do we have another?
I'll throw out
guy?
one more moonshot. He might be busy, but Leonardo DiCaprio from his character in Wolf of Wall Street, I thought would work pretty well, especially
with the teeth
especially
and
in the
everything.
parade, with everything,
I love how Nick just defines Michael Malone by his parade performance now. So.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that's who he is to me now forever. Yeah,
that's the sequence you gotta nail. Yeah.
And also he thinks we really have the unlimited budget.
Well, obviously, we can do it all in AI now.
Okay, Calvin Booth. Now, we talked about Forrest Whitaker, and I think that's a pretty good choice for him. But for this graphics here, I chose JB Smoove. I think JB Smoove, and you remember him from Curb Your Enthusiasm, but he is a brilliant comedian in many other stuff as well. So I really like, he has that posture and that chillness, just like Calvin Booth. Do we have another idea here?
Just for my The Wire quota, I mentioned Wendell Pierce, but just because I love the show and I think he has kind of the body type. He was brilliant in The Wire as well. So
Yeah, you agree with Voya because Voya suggested like 17 different guys from The Wire.
From the Wire.
So you would actually just redo The Wire in the Nuggets uniforms. Okay, let's go to the next one. Nikola Jokic. Now, this is interesting because we need a tall guy that kind of looks Serbian, but is an experienced actor. So of course we went with Boban Marjanovic, right? So who else?
Yeah.
Who else? How many tall
Experience.
Serbian actors do you know?
Yeah.
Compared to Boban. But I'm here for different ideas.
Okay, I have two options here. It depends on the director's vision for this role because I can envision a action movie version of this where Jokic is Dolph Lundgren.
Okay.
Just straight from Rocky 4.
Yeah.
And we just move him right onto the court where he just destroys people in basketball. Like it's like NBA Jam levels of like just absolute destruction, right?
You know what? When there was that trash talk around him because they didn't want to give him the third MVP, I was so hoping for Jokic to turn into Dolph Lundgren on the court and like F you everybody. But he didn't. He's just too kind for that. Okay,
but
who's
if
the
you go for a more realistic
Nicholas.
Jokic. Oh, I just one other one. Sorry, more realistic role. Andrew Skarsgård, I think, would work pretty well. He's pretty tall. He's like 6'4", but you could play that up.
That's a good shout. Nicholas with the pick he went, he just won it on the sequence against the Morris twin.
That's right.
It didn't happen this season, but he wanted that movie to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, you need something, in the opening scene. So why not? Why not?
Yeah, the opening scene is him boxing with one of the Morris brothers, like in mid court. I'd watch this movie.
Strahinja and Nemanja working his shoulders in the timeouts.
Okay, let's move on before we get cancelled. Okay, now Natalia Jokic. Yeah, I didn't want to make this, like all guys kind of exercise. So for Natalia Jokic, we have a really, really good choice in Florence. And help me, is it Pugh?
Pugh, I think, right?
Pugh.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh.
I believe.
Okay. Yeah, in case you don't know who this is, like
although I like Pug because she's kind of short and squatty too a little bit.
She's a star.
Prettier than a Pug.
Yeah. She is the star of the Natalia Romanov movie. What is it called? The
Black Widow.
Anastasia, you mean?
The Black Widow movie.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Next one, Jamal Murray. Now this was a tough one, and I banged my head throughout the week for this, and Jordan had a good idea, and it's John Boyega.
Oh yeah,
with his smoothness and confidence. Do we have another choice?
What about The Weeknd? He's gotten
one.
into acting in recent months. He's Canadian as well, so.
I also have a Canadian option. What about Drake?
Oh wow!
I don't know if he can act, but
what
kind of looks like.
You think there's something Drake cannot do? Come on.
No, of course. Yeah, good point.
I mean, he got to start acting. What are you talking about?
Yeah. But also Canadian.
I was actually thinking about Drake, and I said, no, let somebody else say it. So yeah, it worked perfectly for
you
me.
let me follow the sword.
Next one, Aaron Gordon, and here Lucas had a great idea. I think it's young Jason Momoa.
Oh,
so we needed somebody really handsome and really confident, and Jason Momoa was here for Aaron Gordon.
I have never
another
seen a
choice?
picture of young Jason Momoa. That's incredible. So yeah, I would pick that.
I think the resemblance is pretty uncanny, if you ask me. Obviously,
Yeah.
this is very personal, but yeah.
I was trying to
And
just think
honestly-
about his. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jordan.
Well, and honestly, the vibes are just right with Jason Momoa too. So.
Exactly. Surfing vibe, yeah, chill. Yeah.
Totally. The only one I came up with was a de-aged Will Smith, just for like the big smile. I don't know. Aaron Gordon's just got that kind of big, beautiful smile and kind of like big features.
Yeah, as long as we don't have Steven Adams on our movie, Jason Momoa is a perfect Aaron Gordon.
Yeah,
Sure.
totally agree.
Sure.
Okay, next one, Michael Porter Jr. Now, before you give me some real answers, I said playing by himself because I don't know, man. This guy is so special, so so unique. I just couldn't find an actor to
He'll definitely embrace the opportunity with all the podcasting he's doing and all that. He'll
Yeah.
definitely accept. Yeah, so I think that's a good shot. Yeah.
Star turn.
Yeah.
yeah. And
The only Michael B. Jordan just for the name, really.
yeah,
Well,
Michael
and that's
B.
the
right.
star power too.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Now, this was hard. And as I said, we have a lot of budget. So we have the CGI. We can make guys look younger. We can buff them up like what they did to Captain America in the the first Avenger, but they shrank the what's the name of the actor? Chris Evans. But here we need to buck this guy up. And it's Snoop Dogg.
Yes. That's
So
what I
the
had also.
The chillness of Snoop Dogg.
Mhm.
I mean, for me, that's perfect. He just need a little bit more muscle and a little bit less.
But I like him being
Age.
high the entire time. Like
Yeah.
I want him fully baked, like in every scene, like even on the court.
I don't
I'm
think
not
you
sure
would
you'd have
need
a
to.
choice. So.
You would need to put that in contract for Snoop Dogg. Yeah, he
Right,
will
right.
just show up. Okay. Unless we have somebody else, let's move on.
I don't think
Bruce Brown.
there is another possible choice for that one.
Yeah. So Bruce Brown, I think that this is really interesting. So we chose Donald Glover because that guy has all the confidence in the world. He moves really smooth through the air, and I think Donald Glover would be great. But if we
The
have
silly
another-
look also. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping to find some images of Donald Glover, playing the banjo or something like that, but I couldn't find that. So I had to go with the solo outfit.
Perfect.
That's a
Okay,
great pick. Yeah.
and I think we have only two more. So Christian Brown. Now this was tough because I knew I need to find a handsome blonde guy, and I picked Charlie Hunnam, and
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm not great about I'm not really high on this pick, but I was afraid to Google for handsome blonde guys for too long. It's just in the history, so who knows?
Your
So
wife gets
yeah,
a little
Charlie
concerned.
Hunnam here. Do we have another idea here?
I'll throw one out. Miles Turner, maybe, in his like kind of like Whiplash role.
You mean Teller, I guess.
Miles
Or Teller.
Teller.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Teller. Sorry, I misspoke. Yeah, Miles Teller.
Yeah, that's good.
Um,
That's good.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Something
He's not
about the
blonde,
neck.
but-
I feel like he has kind of a wide neck too, kind of like
Right.
Christian Braun does. I don't think he's quite as
Right.
buff, but yeah, he's not
Problem
blonde.
is,
Yeah, hair.
so many of the guys that make sense that we think of as young are like way too old.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Charlie Hunnam's like late 30s already, I think. So.
We can de-age everybody now, though. It's great. Harrison
We
Ford is
can.
We're
like,
big
looks
into
like
movies,
40
Jordan.
and-
Just
If Harrison Ford can play
Yeah.
Indiana Jones, we can do anything. Yeah. Okay. Last
I-
two. Oh, do we have another? Or
Oh no,
can we move?
I have a special one I will throw in at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
the
I
last
agree.
two.
Jeff Green, and this is George David Washington, and I think this is perfect. This is just like when I see this guy star of Tenet, he is just a perfect Jeff Green, and I even think that the age is good here as well. Do we have
Okay.
another idea?
Totally fair. Hear me out for a second. Samuel L. Jackson at his current age. Just playing Jeff Green. No de-aging applied whatsoever.
No
Django
hair.
version.
Yeah.
So he went from action to straight up comedy now.
Right,
With,
right.
with Samuel
It's an
Jackson
action,
dunking
it's
on
an
everybody.
action comedy. Yeah.
Maybe if Samuel L. Jackson plays both Jeff Green and DeAndre Jordan, what do you think about that?
Yeah,
Like two roles for him.
totally.
Okay.
I wouldn't be shocked if Samuel L. Jackson could dunk right now. If I saw him do it like one time on a court, it would not surprise me.
No, this is not something I expected to hear today. Okay. Last guy, we need a villain. Bones Highland. He is the closest thing to a villain in this season we've had. So it wasn't there wasn't a lot of turmoil in this season. So, and I don't remember even whose idea this was, but it's perfect. It's
Cannot the
Jaden
villain? Sorry for cutting you here. Cannot the villain be Matt Ishbia?
Hey, he can be there, in like a cameo.
Cameo, yeah, just playing himself.
Yeah, it's like one
Wow, but
scene with
this
him.
is a good resemblance pick, man, for Bones.
Yeah, I really like it.
He's also
It's
easy
really
to
good.
dislike. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. So tell me, Nick, you wanted to give us
I have
a
one.
special.
Yeah, I have a bonus one. So I'm going to be in this movie.
Okay.
Also,
that's good.
and I'm going to be playing Jason Kosmicki. I've been getting this my whole life that I look just like him. So I don't know if you have a picture of Kaz you can put up for everybody. He's the Nuggets radio guy. If you're not.
Oh, Radio Cost.
Oh,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I know. Okay, now I know. Now I know.
I have been told like for the last like 15 years that I look just like him. So
And that's right, by the way. I didn't notice until you said it. But yeah,
yeah,
do,
you
yeah.
do look like him.
Yeah.
That's
Crying in
I
awesome.
should
the
have given,
end
I
while
should have given you the
broadcasting
heads
the
up so you have a
win.
picture ready. But yeah, I got
You
a
need
little
to
more
work on
beard.
your crying skills, though,
That's right.
for that scene. Yeah.
I know.
I think we did a good job with this. This was actually pretty stressful because we wanted to do this the proper way. I mean, I was completely shooting from the hip when I started. I was like, okay, let's do Jamal with Harrison Ford because of his smoothness. But yeah, that doesn't make sense if you're trying to make a live action movie. So yeah, thank you very much for hanging with us. Do we have some closing thoughts you want to go out with?
Jokic isn't overrated. I'll just end with that. Yeah,
In fact, he might still be underrated, honestly.
he probably is. Yeah.
Lucas, you're muted.
I agree with you. I just wish I could have personally watched this with either Rudy or Juancho still on the team. They're still active, and obviously would have gotten a lot more attention here in Spain. But yeah, just happy to be here, guys. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, and thank you to everybody that's stuck with us for these whole 62 or whatever minutes. Have a great weekend. Have a great week after that, and we'll talk again next weekend. Idemo na Getsi.